Hi everyone, so we are here in the new Almaden historic mining district, also known as the Hacienda, and this used to be a mining district that produced the largest amount of mercury in the United States. It has over 35 years of mining history, and it used to be home to over 1,800 miners and their families. So there is a historic walk that you can take you to all of the historic homes that date back to the 1840s. What is so cool about this place is that all of the homes around here are so perfectly preserved and that they are still lived in or repurposed for something else, such as this amazing house right here. And today, this house acts as a museum for all of the mining history in this neighborhood. So there are all sorts of exhibits and artifacts that depicts the history of the mining activities that went around here. Now let's get on to the fun stories. And by fun, I'm talking about all of the ghosts that still call this neighborhood their home. And starting with, of course, Casa Grande. And of course, the big house has to be haunted. I mean, come on. You still need a manager to be running this place, especially with everyone floating about. So, Casa Grande was built between 1850 to 1854. And since then, there were many families as well as guests that have came in and out of those doors. According to ghost investigators, the dominant ghost is a male ghost, and he's usually found on the stairway facing the front door. Now, I wonder if he was one of the managers, and that's where he usually stood when he greeted his guests. Some food for thought, you guys. So I'm sitting right across the Almaden Quicksilver County Park, and that is our haunted location number 2. This is where all of the mining activity took place, and today it is part of Santa Clara's County Park with 33 miles of hiking trails. And what's cool about some of these trails is that you get to see some of the mining equipments as well as rock piles along these trails, as well as some ghost towns, a cemetery, and the tree that they used to hang people from. So in these mountains, it's gotta be haunted. Here it is, you guys. Haunted site number 3. So this site started out as a boarding house for miners, then it turned into a hotel. Today it is a fine dining French restaurant called Le Forêt. It is said that an older woman haunts this place. She is described as someone with curly gray hair and hazel eyes. However, she is very friendly, and it is said that she is quite pleased with how the hotel has become. Many believe that she used to be a manager here, and it seems like she's still managing the place because a lot of people also seen miners roaming around this area, especially on the second floor and balcony area. So we are at our last haunted location, and is the Hacienda Cemetery. So many of the graves here can be dated back to the 1850s, but the most notable grave that everyone knows of is of Bertram Barrett. So let's go try to find his grave. To the other one. So the story goes is that when Bertram was 13 years old, he was shot in the left arm by a shotgun. It was an accident, however, he did lose that arm. Back in the day, it was customary to bury whatever body part that you lose. So they buried Bertram's 13-year-old left arm. So we found his grave. It's right here. This is just his left arm. However, do not be too sorry for Barrett, because he actually grew up to be quite a successful, fine man. He was chief of sanitation for Santa Clara County Health Department, and he passed away at a ripe age of 74 years old. The rest of his body is buried in Oak Hill Cemetery. So here is the legend that's connected with his arm. So it is said that every Halloween, Barrett's arm will come alive and will crawl out of its grave in search of the rest of his body. I don't know if I should say it here, so I'll just whisper it. But unfortunately, Barrett's body was cremated, so I hope his arm won't be too disappointed. So this cemetery actually has two different sides. There is a small little road that cuts right in the center of it, so that indicates that this cemetery used to be a whole lot bigger. But of course, as time goes on, new housing is always needed. So there are quite a bit of the homes here, as well as the road, that have been built on top of unmarked graves. And it seems that these areas could be haunted because there are stories of residents that stated that their lights would go on and off, they would feel cold spots in their houses, objects would be moved about. So building on top of these unmarked graves might have disturbed quite a bit of spirits.